So I'm going to zip through the writing of a process analysis piece. This is as and how I did it. You can see I backspace loads because I was thinking as I was writing. So we'll now start looking a little bit more at language. You can see here that we're starting to use more stronger verbs, something like punctures instead of goes through. Drives down past, well, those are those prepositions we mentioned. But also we have words like circumference, we have words like rotation, and we also have technical words like vertical. Now, you might say circumference and vertical aren't particularly technical. They're mathematical. Yeah, these words that we use in math class to describe a circle or a sphere or which axis we're talking about on a graph, these help us also give direction to our reader. You can see here that I really start to go back and I start to edit and add steps back in. What I discovered here is the needle thread is then carried by the little shuttle arm around the shuttle. Initially, I had written when the shuttle completes its rotation, the arm is no longer dragging the needle thread. But I never explained what happened to that thread. How does it form the stitch? So that's what I start doing here. The needle is then carried by the little shuttle arm around the circumference of the shuttle. And through the rotation, it loops around the bobbin thread that sticks out from inside the shuttle and ends up holding the shuttle bobbin thread in a little U. Now, does this remain how I write this? So here we can see that I've moved this bit of the U down towards the end. It's one of the last stages, it's the last part of the step, the actual stitch that is finally produced. The threaded needle begins to vertically rise back into its start position. We could say the threaded needle above the fabric begins to rise vertically, or we could say it leaves the fabric that it had punctured and rises vertically. We can always add more detail that helps our reader understand the process. The needle thread is on either side of the bobbin thread, holding the bobbin thread in a little U after the completion. The threaded needle has returned to its start position, and by returning to its start position, the needle pulls the thread that had traveled around the shuttle and around the bobbin thread up. A sewing machine is a weird and complicated beast, and the mechanism is different, so I congratulate you if you've stuck with me thus far. We are still not finished. You can see that I have some grammatical issues. I've put in apostrophes where I should not, so I'll tidy that up. Remember, apostrophe is it is. Here it's going to suggest which. I don't think that's totally necessary. That's a style choice. However, it's not MLA style, so I will double space my work. I will indent my first paragraph. I will center my title. I should add some capitalization in here as well. I want to add my information on the left. I fix my capitalization. I have a good first draft. It is by no means perfect, but it allows us to have something to start with. So I'll draw your attention to a few changes I made. From the beginning to the end, you can see I've tracked my changes. I've moved just after to as because it indicates simultaneous action. I've changed needle to needles in case the thread now belongs to the needle. It indicates ownership. And last but not least, I deleted little. I mentioned little before. It's redundant to do it again, but I do need to remind people that the arm belongs on the shuttle. Down here, my organization is still not perfect, but it's kind of hard to see that right now. So if I take off my markup, the threaded needle begins to vertically rise back into its start position, pulling the rotated thread with it. When the shuttle completes its rotation, the arm is no longer dragging the needle thread, and the needle rising back into its start position pulls the thread vertically back into place, ready to begin again. The needle thread is on either side of the bobbin thread, hooked around the bobbin thread in a little U after the completion of the cycle. So I think there's something that could be better there, but right now I can't think of it, so I don't worry about it. I pause and move on. You can see here I've highlighted the prepositions that are throughout. The yellow are the prepositions themselves, but I've also highlighted 2 green to indicate prepositional phrases to the right of up the other side of. So these little phrases go together to indicate direction. They can also indicate order. Prepositions are super essential when we're doing descriptive process analysis. It's really difficult to describe how something impacts something else if you don't explain how they touch, how they connect, and you need prepositions to do that.